Gary's home on July 25th this year. So it would allow us to continue to advance Gary's home on July 25th this year. So it would allow us to continue to advance into that area.
Okay, did you hear that part? He said, another sad affair. A house was lost July 25th, and the lava went into the ocean. That was really hard to get that one. You guys did really well, and I'm going to turn it over to Hannah. Okay?
We're going to watch another video. We should have brought movie popcorn and candy or something. But anyways.
Who announced this who announced?
Oh, who did this Big Island video news?
News announcer.
Oh, what is the name of the
Yeah.
announcer? I don't know. Maybe I can answer that question next time. Does it say there?
I don't see it.
I can listen.
Hilbert said Lee Hilbert was the one who was describing the house into the ocean, that portion of it, but I'm not sure who the woman announcer was.
But Leigh Hilbert was the man that was speaking most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so
And he also took the pictures. That's his footage.
if you look at the handout that I gave you, there's the front page. There's some on the back of the front page. It's page number 2. And then on the last page, there's a spot at the bottom that says vocabulary. If there is a word in this video that you don't know or that you want to ask us about, you can write it down here, and we'll talk about it after to make sure we all understand all of the words. So what you have here is a transcription of the video. Transcription means I wrote down exactly what the speaker is saying in the video. So if you read it, you should be able to read and hear the same words. So you'll notice that there's some blanks in the handout. I took some words out that are important for the meaning of the video so that you have to listen for those words. So when you hear the word where the blank goes, you can write it in. And if you don't get all of the words, that's okay. We'll talk about it again after to make sure we fill the whole thing out. So don't worry about thinking too fast and missing words. That's not important to get all of them, just to listen for as many as you can. So this video is about the tsunami warning that we had in October. Were you guys here for that? Last October, towards Halloween holiday, there was a tsunami warning in Hilo. My apartment building got evacuated. We had to leave. I went to a friend's house. It was really fun. So, does everybody know what we're going to do with the blanks? Yeah? Okay. So you're going to go ahead and listen to the video. Again, don't worry if you miss a blank and you miss a word. That's okay.
1:15 p.m.
Started.
to make sure that 1:15 p.m. to make sure that
Well, at this point in time, the governor, as well as the state of Hawaii and all 4 counties, have downgraded our tsunami warning to a tsunami advisory. That does not mean it's in all clear. Here in the county of Hawaii, on the island of Hawaii, we're going to wait another 10 minutes, make sure we get accurate visual assessments of exactly what type of surges and to what degree all along our harbors and coastlines. In spite of the downgrade from tsunami warning to tsunami advisory, our harbors are still closed, all of our beaches are still closed, and we're asking everybody to stay away from the ocean and water along shoreline and coastline areas. We anticipate in about 10 minutes, upon final assessment, visual assessment, that will then ask everybody to return to their homes, ask our visitors that they can return to their hotels, and that will be closing our evacuation centers. we're just respectfully requesting a little more patience from everyone. We want to thank, of course, all of our residents and visitors and volunteers, federal, state, county agencies for their hard work these many hours. Again, we were prepared for the worst, but of course we were hoping and prayed for the best. At this point in time, we just want to make sure we get a final assessment and determination before we ask everybody to return to the residences and hotels. And we want to make clear that the downgrade from a warning to an advisory does not mean all clear. We still want people to exercise caution. We still want people to exercise good judgment and to ensure safety and cooperation along our shoreline coastline areas.
Could you tell us what was observed here in Hilo and maybe around the island?
Well, we saw activity, of course, surges. At one point, we saw 4-foot surges at 6-minute intervals, which meant some significant activity along the Hilo Bay and Wailoa Harbor area, some activity along the Hilo Breakwall. There was some surge and activity at Keoho and Kona and the Kailua Pier, but nothing significant, nothing that threatened anyone's safety, anyone's life. Some question as to property. We don't have a thorough assessment at this point in time, but the news that we have received has been good thus far.
Anything you can tell us about the reports? I know you told some of the other guys about the reports of folks being drowned or anything like that. Any updates on that?
Well, because of the significant surge activity in Wailoa Harbor, there was some boats moving up and moving down. Reports of some boats perhaps being moving around significantly. There was a question of a boat being pulled off its moorings, but it was still attached. It wasn't completely pulled. So we didn't have any reports of any boats or significant property damage. More importantly, we're very thankful that we didn't receive any reports of serious injury thus far island-wide.
And you're satisfied with how the emergency response?
Oh, I'm so proud of everybody's response, our agencies. You know, we've of course had tsunami exercises and drills. We've had 2 full-scale tsunami evacuations, both at 8.8 earthquake in Chile a couple years ago, 2009, of course, in March of 2011. We had another island-wide tsunami evacuation. This one at a little shorter notice, and there was some question. Pacific Tsunami Warning Center had initially reported that no tsunami was generated off of a 7.7 earthquake in the Channel Islands in the Pacific Northwest. Subsequently, of course, there was a report that tsunami had been generated as reported by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. At that time, our emergency operations centers in both East and West Hawaii was stood up. And all the credit goes to these hardworking individuals back here who keep our island safe. And most importantly, a lot of appreciation and thanks goes to our residents, our businesses, people in the Hawaii Island community who responded really well. Everybody evacuated safely, respectfully. There was some challenges out there in the community and some confusion, but ultimately everybody was evacuated in time and safely.
Is that in reference to the sirens maybe at Hilo? Anything about that?
Well, no, it's in reference to the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center having issued that there was nothing, there was no tsunami generated. A subsequent report that there was. That communication created some confusion. Some sirens did not go off initially, but our first responders, police and fire were already in process of evacuation shoreline, coastline areas. So a lot of manual alerts went out. Subsequently, by 9 p.m., with still over 90 minutes, spare all of the sirens were reported to be working.
I have to say, I was down at the airport, and I don't think a siren had gone off. They went through, they evacuated.
Yeah, and it's just the community and the first responders having utilized the airport as an evacuation zone. In spite of the construction down in that area, people were able to safely evacuate. So yes, in spite of not every siren having gone off, and in spite of monthly testing, everything worked well because people were out on the streets working.
How was